Hey guys, it's Otto here, back with another video. So in today's video, guys, what I'm going to do is show you how to price your email marketing services. But I'm not going to repeat all the generic advice you see on YouTube, okay? I'm actually going to show you specifically how we price our services and how we get paid anywhere between 6K to 12K upfront before even lifting a single finger for service delivery for the client. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to escape $1,000 or $2,000 per month retainers and copy exactly what we do to start making some real money, okay? But before we go into our unconventional pricing mechanism, I want to actually clarify a couple of things first, okay? And the first thing that I want to clarify is how we find the ideal client, all right? So the ideal client is what we can kind of categorize here. I'm going to try and click my pen if it's going to let me, minimize my face. Click, there we go, as your ICP, okay? And what your ICP stands for is your ideal client profile. Now, our ICP is basically made up of characteristics and attributes that determine whether they are going to be a good client or not, okay? To me, and probably to you if you're looking to scale an email agency, a good client is one that has a legitimate business, okay? They've been in business for some time, they've got money so they can actually afford and pay you for your services, and they're easy or fun to work with, okay? Hopefully both, all right? So what does this look like for email marketing? All right, so we're going to get the text tool out here. I'm going to move, we've got all these tools everywhere, going to try and move them out the way. All right, so we're going to bang these into the boxes and move on quickly, okay? So for email marketing services, if you're using a platform like Klaviyo, what you want to look for first with your clients is whether they've got a large body of active profiles, okay? So what this is not is suppressed profiles or contacts. So it's not contacts. This is active profiles. So contacts, human beings that have given their contact information, their email addresses, and their phone numbers that are held as active profiles in your client's Klaviyo account, where they're in a position where they've opted in for marketing and they are ready to receive marketing messaging, okay, and buy goods and services, all right? Now, the second attribute of what a good ICP looks like for email marketing is they've got multiple SKUs, or SKUs, however you pronounce it. Multiple SKUs, and what this really means is that they've got more than one product, okay? So it's not just one hero product. They've actually got a range of different products, and this is particularly important when you're trying to increase the average order value for your clients. You know, when they have customers buy one thing, you want to upsell, cross-sell, or downsell other things, okay? And that's going to help increase revenues that you generate from email for your clients, all right? The third point here is they've got a good social media following, or they've got a good social media presence. And why that's useful is that we can obtain UGC, so user-generated content, and materials, reviews, testimonials, things like that, photos that we can use in our email marketing flows and campaigns. And that also, they have a high average order value, okay? And what average order value typically will come down to here is that they are priced effectively, all right? So they're not a brand that has incredibly low ticket pricing. You know, you're not having to achieve huge amounts of volume in order to make any sort of money. And actually the fifth and final point here is their team, okay? So small team size. Now we'll be working with clients on average, they'll have anywhere from sometimes as few as just one employee, it will be a founder employee, to around 10 employees, okay? So it's very expensive for brands to bring email marketing in-house, to get a technical expert, to get somebody who is a specialist at email marketing. It's very expensive for them to actually hire them and bring them in-house. And that's why teams of this sort of size look to outsource this kind of work, okay? So using these search parameters in your prospecting and lead gen will help you find the right client. And it will stop you wasting time with Fiverr or Upwork type clients who simply can't afford to pay you, okay? Now, before we get into pricing, I know I promised you it's just one thing before we talk about pricing. There is just a last thing I need to mention, okay? And what this brief mention really revolves around, before we get into the nuts and bolts of our unconventional pricing mechanism, is your offer, okay? So as a marketing agency, you basically have a glass ceiling, and this glass ceiling is an invisible limitation on the amount of money that you can earn, and thus how high you can set your prices, okay? And I'm going to draw a ceiling here so we can see this, all right? And the reason that you have this glass ceiling is because you're operating in an industry where there is a distinct lack of trust, okay? So in our industry, in the marketing space, clients have been burnt time and time again by subpar agencies, freelancers, contractors and marketers, where they overpromise, they promise the world and they underdeliver, okay? Which is why you need to position yourself in the marketplace as anything but a marketing agency, okay? You need to change where you're positioned and how you're seen in the eye of your clients so that they don't just see you as another agency owner looking to, spam them or scam them or not deliver on their promises, okay? And all of this starts with your offer, okay? We're going to talk below here about what makes a good offer very quickly, okay? So first things first, if your offer looks like this, so you've got it on your landing page, we help e-commerce brands generate up to 30% of their monthly recurring revenue from email and SMS, then I'm telling you now, and you probably are experiencing this already, you're not going to get any replies from your cold outreach, and you're simply not going to close any clients on an offer like this, okay? You have to shift away from seeming like every other marketing agency. Now, I have loads of other videos that will show you how to do this. I'll link some of them below in the description. But ultimately, here's what a better offer will look like, okay? I'm not going to go through every single component of why this makes a better offer, okay? So I'm not going to talk about, the numerical implications instead of a percentage. I'm not going to talk about the jargon here, industry jargon, calling out your ICP. I'm not going to talk about conditional guarantee. I've talked about that in other videos, okay? But take my word for it. Going forward from now, just copy this offer, okay? So if yours looks like this, change it and copy an offer like this, all right? And it's going to help you in the long run be able to price accordingly and price what, frankly, you're worth, okay? So, pricing, all right? This is what this video is all about, pricing, okay? Now, with pricing, we've got two goals, okay? Now, our two goals in pricing go like this. The first one is that we want to increase revenue and our share of profit, and we want to decrease risk, okay? We want to mitigate the risk of not getting paid for the work that we do, okay? So how can you do this, all right? You're probably sitting there thinking, right, so let's get to it now. I'm not going to get to it, all right? So how can you do this? Right. The first way that you can increase your revenue and your profit margins and mitigate risk is by charging up front, all right? So you can charge up front. The second way, and it's probably the way that you are more familiar with, is by charging an ongoing retainer. And then the third way is by charging on a performance basis only. Now, for us as an agency, if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that we leverage all three, okay? So we leverage what we call our kind of pricing trifecta. And here's where the advice kind of becomes unconventional, okay? And basically how I can give this to you is because it's what we do and we currently do today. We have the field tested proof. We're in the trenches. None of this is theoretical. I'm not going to go and tell you to, find a client like this and charge them $500 a month and that's how you're going to get rich, okay? You're not going to get rich doing that, all right? So we charge our clients anywhere from 6K to 12K for what we call an upfront build. And what that build includes is basically automations, so their flows. So that would be their foundational flows or their advanced flows or a combination of the two. It would be their campaigns. Oh God, I can't spell. Campaigns, it will be for their content calendar. Goodness, my spelling is shocking. I'm going to need more boxes here. In this infrastructure build, we provide everything they need for their sign-up forms. And we also do templates and designs. All right. So this is what we do in short, okay? And I've got another video here about how we actually deliver our build and release e-commerce email services, all right? And why we moved away from offering traditional retainer-based services, okay? Now, contrary to popular belief, if you charge upfront, you might be thinking, if I built something out infrastructure-wise for the client, then they're going to have everything they need and they're not going to have to pay me. 9 times out of 10, we actually find the opposite, okay? So when you over-deliver, when you promise to deliver to your clients what every single marketing agency owner out there is oftentimes promising yet failing to deliver within a 6 to anywhere 9 to 12 month time frame, where they waste the client's time, waste their money, and hinder their results. They don't actually get them any results or progress. We promise to do that overnight for our clients and give them everything they need in order to future-proof their business. And what we find on the back end is that from doing that, we basically build a load of trust where simply our clients start to take our word for it, okay? So we've said to them, within 24 hours, we're going to build out everything you need in order to future-proof your e-commerce brand. We do that within 24 hours. They get absolutely blown away by the fact that we've done that. And on the back end, we're able to cross-sell or downsell retainer services, okay? So when it comes to the retainer services, we'll charge anywhere from, typically we shoot for around $5,000 per month. And this can be for a variety of ongoing services, okay? So it could be ongoing campaign management, where we continue to write copy, create new campaigns. It could be design work for key sale months. Say we're going into Black Friday, obviously Black Friday's already gone now, or going into Boxing Day sales or Christmas Eve sales, January sales, whatever it might be. It will oftentimes involve copywriting in an ongoing sense of the word. And then 9 times out of 10, it will kind of include general account management. So this is also referring to optimization and making sure that everything from a technical standpoint is kind of ticking along nicely for the clients, okay? And we charge anywhere, like I say, from around 5K per month. We've had lower retainers when we started off. I think our first build was 6K. We've obviously increased that price to today. But on the back end, we were then shooting for around 5K. I think at the time we'd had a $2,000 retainer. And then here's where things get really juicy, okay? So here's where you can literally blast off that glass ceiling and destroy it, okay? So you're never having a force outside of your control that's stopping you earning from, what you want to earn, all right? And the way that we do this is through a performance fee. Now, in our trifecta, the performance fee is particularly lucrative because we can bill our clients anywhere between 5 to 15% of the monthly recurring revenue that we're generating from email and SMS, okay? So there's an important thing to pull away from this, all right? This 5 to 15% as a performance commission is something we charge on the back end. We give our clients 30 days to pay that via an invoice. I'm going to tell you how we collect revenue from the other 2 elements of our pricing mechanism just shortly now. But the key thing to remember here is that you want to always go from one single source of truth, okay? And the single source of truth for you is the platform that you operate within, okay? Klaviyo, all right? So you don't have any control over, Google Analytics or Triple Whale or even Shopify itself when it comes to reporting metrics. You deliver your service within Klaviyo, so whenever you negotiate a performance fee, make sure that it is clear and that you've set expectations with your client, and make sure it's clear in the contract that you will be billing them, sending them an invoice for 5 to 15% of the revenue that you generate and you report via and through Klaviyo, okay? So don't do it from Shopify, and make sure that you get your client to overtly acknowledge that and sign on the dotted line that they agree with that, all right? So, talking about how we eradicate risk here. So we've talked a little bit about how we increase revenue and profit margins for ourselves. How we eradicate risk goes like this, all right? So for the upfront build, we take a bank transfer, okay? Direct bank transfer, and then we don't lift a finger for service delivery until the client has paid that money and that money has landed in our account, okay? We don't lift a finger for service delivery if they've said they've paid it, or if they've said they're going to pay it, or if they said the money is on its way. We only start the build, we only engage the team and activate their build slot in our calendar once the money has been deposited into our accounts, okay? So if it's an international client, that might take a few days, whatever it might be. This is a mechanism we have put in place in order to eradicate all payment risk for us, okay? So we know we're going to collect 6 to 12K upfront, cash collected, cash in hand, in the bank, safe. Nobody can get their sticky fingers on it, and then we can deploy the build service for the client. Now, when it comes to the ongoing monthly retainer, I'm just going to put RET there. We use Stripe, and we use Stripe specifically for subscription billing, okay? And what this does is we charge at day 1 of a 30-day cycle, and the client, once they pay once for that first 30-day cycle, then it's going to bill them on a recurring basis, okay? So we don't have to follow up with invoices, we don't have to work for 30 days for free and then beg the clients to remember to pay us, okay? Now, when it comes to the performance fee, this is when we let things go slightly sort of more relaxed and fluid. We give them an invoice and we give them 30 days to pay it, okay? And it could be that during Black Friday month or Christmas, there might be a slight delay for them. You know, we've set this at between 7 to 14 days before, but if they've paid us up front for the build, if they're paying the monthly ongoing payments, us getting our extra pat on the back, you know, the cherry on the cake, so to speak, is something that we can actually wait for, okay? So you don't just want to be working off of a performance basis, working for free, and then having the risk that your clients might not pay you, all right? So in summary here, guys, okay, why is this so powerful? Why does this pricing mechanism eradicate risk for us and basically give us such an attractive operating business, okay? And I'm going to show you. So we're going to open this up. We're going to bang out some points here real quick. All right, so the first one, it eradicates risk of non-payment. Okay, so once the cash is in our account, we deliver the build, there's no risk of the client not paying. You know, they might sign a contract or they might agree to monthly ongoing services, but then if they don't want those services or they say, actually guys, you know, we don't need your services anymore, there's no love lost, okay? We've still taken our revenue from that initial client. Yes, we've lost projected cash flow on the back end, but we haven't lost out any money, okay? We've dedicated time, capital, human, you know, investment, and we've not lost anything for it, all right? The second reason why this makes it such an attractive business model for us from a pricing mechanism point of view is that it gives us projected cash flow. Okay, so if you're running an agency, you know, cash flow is king. And using Stripe and setting subscription billing, we can just set it and forget it, all right? We have a monthly rolling agreement. Some clients, we've had 6 to 12 month agreements before, but if they paid for an upfront build, 9 times out of 10, we find that they'll be a client of ours for a long period of time, okay? And we don't have to impose any kind of unnecessary, you know, fixed agreement on them, all right? So they continue to pay and it gives us projected cash flow. And again, it destroys the glass ceiling. So by leveraging that pricing trifecta and by repositioning ourselves and changing our offer, amongst other things, we basically set ourselves apart. We give ourselves a point of differentiation and it enables us to go into these conversations where we can frankly set the price as we like, okay? Because no other agencies are doing it, all right? So guys, I hope that video has been helpful for you. Let me know if you've got any questions in the comments below about how to price email marketing services, whether you're a freelancer or an agency owner. Leverage this strategy here and let me know how you get on, and we will catch up in the next video. All right, cheers.